Hello everyone and welcome back to my Pokemon version 2 tutorial series, and today we're going to be adding some more things and hopefully picking up our first Pokemon. I don't know, we'll see how time goes. Alright, so first things first, there's a link in the description and it contains a folder called vid files. You can extract it and inside of that folder is this. Alright, so now we can go into our folder, our game folder. We can open up our Pokemon folder, we can open up our meshes, Pokemon, Charmander, and I've renamed this. You guys should do this as well. So the skeleton you should rename to Charmander skeleton, the physics asset to Charmander physics asset, and the actual mesh to Charmander. Okay, now we can go back to our Pokemon, meshes, Pokemon folder, and we can right click and add a new folder, and we'll call this Bulbasaur. And we'll add another folder and we'll call this Squirtle. Alright, then we're going to open up the Bulbasaur folder. We're going to go in here into our vid files folder, Bulbasaur, and then we're going to bring in this Bulbasaur model skeleton 2, and we're going to import it with a uniform scale of 0.1 and import. Let's just see that's okay. Yes, that's the right size. Okay, then right off the bat we're going to rename this. So we're just going to make this Bulbasaur skeleton, Bulbasaur physics asset, Bulbasaur, there we go, and this last one we're just going to name Bulbasaur. Okay, then go back to our Pokemon folder, go to the Squirtle folder, and go to our vid files folder, open up Squirtle, and bring in the Squirtle model skeleton 2, import it with a uniform scale of 0.1, and we can double check that is the right size again. Now we need to rename this stuff again, so Squirtle skeleton, Squirtle's physics asset, how do I spell Squirtle? Squirtle physics asset, and then just Squirtle. Okay, then we need to sort out the materials for these Pokemon, so we can go back to our Pokemon folder, materials, Pokemon materials, and make a new folder in here called Bulbasaur, and we can open that up and make a folder inside of there called textures, and we can then go back to our Pokemon materials folder and make another folder called getting really confused on how to spell things, I don't know why. Squirtle, and then we'll open up that Squirtle folder and we'll make another folder called textures, and then we can begin moving these over. So let's just expand this in the content browser, and we can go over to our Pokemon meshes and go to Bulbasaur and grab all of these materials and put them into the Bulbasaur materials folder. Okay, so just move there, and then we can go back into our Squirtle mesh folder and grab these materials and put them into the Squirtle's material folder. Okay, so just move them over, and we can go back to those material folders. So Bulbasaur material folder, now open up the textures, open up our vid files folder, and grab the we got a whole lot of these. We'll just move them around. We'll grab all of these TGA files, bring them in, and this is for Bulbasaur, so we'll grab these two Squirtle ones and just bring them over to the Squirtle textures folder. Okay, then back in the Bulbasaur materials, we'll open up all of these, minimize it, kinda like half minimize, I don't really know what the word's called. Anyway, then we'll open up the textures folder again and plug in all of these thingies. Okay, into the base color, as we've been doing in the other videos. Just save it out so that the material compiles. That was the body A1, and they are all labeled, so it's the next body material, next body texture. Plug it into the base color, save. And the next one is I1, so plug that into base color, save, and then I merged. And then we're going to do the same thing for Squirtle, and our Pokemons will be in the game. I still have to make proper animations for all of them. I just made little basic ones for now. Okay, and then we can exit that. Now we can open up the Squirtle materials folder and open up his body and eyes material. Open up the textures and bring them in accordingly. So eyes for eyes and body for body. Plug into base color and save. And body, save. Alright, then we can exit out of that. We can go to Pokemon folder, animations, Pokemon animations. We can make a new folder in here called Bulbasaur, and another one called Squirtle. And we'll open up the Bulbasaur one, and we'll open up our Bulbasaur folder from the vidfiles folder, and we'll bring in this Bulbasaur model skeleton movement thing. And we'll just make sure that we have our Bulbasaur skeleton selected. Should have first named the Bulbasaur. Okay, so we'll do animations in the next video. I'll have to fix those up. Anyway, so for now we have our Pokemon's meshes, and they do have the materials on, so that's fine. They're sort of in idle pose anyway. Screwed me around a bit. Okay, let's go to widgets, let's go to textures, and let's bring in this Bulba image from our Bulbasaur folder inside of vidfiles, and then let's open the Squirtle folder and bring in the Squirtle image, and then we've got all three of our starter images. Okay, so go back to the vid files and bring in the Poke card as well, and there we go. Okay, now we can begin to work on some blueprints again. So let's open our blueprints folder, actors, Pokeballs, and we'll make another folder in here, and we'll call this starter ball, and we'll open that up and make it a blueprint class actor, and we'll call this starter or just start ball. It'll be fine. And we can open that up, and then what we're going to do inside of here is we're going to add a component, and the component's going to be a skeletal mesh. The skeletal mesh that we're going to use is going to be our Pokeball, just our standard normal Pokeball. Okay, and we're going to set it to block all on collision, and that should be fine. Then we want sphere collision, so let's add a sphere collision component. It's about the right size. Actually we have to make it a specific size, so let's go up here and we'll make the sphere radius 150, and that should be fine. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can go over to the event graph, and we can add a variable, and this variable will be Pokemon type, and we'll make it of type Pokemon type. Okay, and then we'll make a custom event, and this custom event we'll call determine, or what are we going to do? We're going to basically take the Pokemon type and depending on the Pokemon type set UI details. So set UI details based on Pokemon type. Bit of a long one, but you don't want to get confused because we are going to eventually sort of build a whole game and you want to have everything labeled properly. Okay, so we're going to get our Pokemon type, and then off of the Pokemon type we're going to drag and say switch on Pokemon type and connect the execution pin. Alright, so then the only ones that we actually interested in is fire, water and grass, wherever grass may be. Okay, so we're going to create a variable and we're going to call this Pokemon name, and we'll make this of type text, and we'll make another variable and we'll call this Pokemon image, and this will be of type texture 2D object reference, and another variable we'll call Pokemon type again, but we'll call it Pokemon type text this time, and we'll make it of type text. Okay, so then when we do the switch, what we want to do is we're going to need a widget, but we've set this all up now, so let's go make that widget. Let's go to Pokemon widgets, and we'll make a we'll just make a widget in here. We'll call this WB starter ball. Okay, and then we'll open it up and we'll go to the designer, and what we're going to do first is we're going to add a vertical box. I love my vertical boxes, and we're going to anchor it right to the middle of the screen. But rather, we're going to delete this vertical box and we're going to delete the canvas panel. And we're going to throw in a vertical box, and what we're going to do after this is click on the vertical box and wrap with a border. The border's brush is going to be the Pokemon card, wherever that may be. We put it inside the textures folder. It's called PokeCard. Okay, so we're going to click on that border again and just set it to PokeCard. I don't know why it's displayed that way around. Shouldn't have done that. But anyway, we're gonna rotate this in the engine then, I guess. So angle, we're gonna have it at -90. Okay, and then we're gonna make it a bit smaller because this is large. I'm gonna click on the border and wrap with a size box, and the size box is gonna have an override on the height and what have you, and we're going to set this to the width override will be 250 and the height override will be 600. Okay, compile. Don't know why that's working out like that. Sorry guys, just need to figure out what's going on here. Why? Okay, let's delete everything quickly, and what we're gonna do is just add an image, and this image we're gonna wrap it with a size box. Okay. Wait, we can't even do that. I'm sorry about this, guys. This is what you get for not preparing. So we do need a border. It has to be a border. And it needs to be wrapped with a size box. The size box does need to control its width and height. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, just add a border. And we're gonna make this of type PokeCard, and that's fine. Okay, then we're gonna add an image, or not an image, we're gonna add a horizontal box. We'll do it this way. I was gonna do it vertically, but we'll do it horizontally. Okay, so we'll add a horizontal box, and then we'll add an image, and this image is going to be set to full, and then we're going to add a vertical box onto the horizontal box, and the vertical box is also going to be set to full. The image we're going to wrap with a size box. Now the size box will have a width and a height override and be set to centered. Okay, then the width and height override we're going to set to 150 by 150. Okay, the whole border, I do want to reduce its size, so what we're going to do is set this to 350, and it didn't work. So we're going to go open this up a bit, and we're going to say desired on screen. That's going to work a lot better. And then we can go to our size box here again, and we'll leave it at 150 by 150. On our vertical box we're going to add some text, and the text thingy font will be the Pokemon font, right? We're going to set the text size to something like 16, and we'll give it some padding on the top of maybe 15. That'll do fine. So we're just going to have the Pokemon's name, right, and the Pokemon's type over here. So it's just name and a fire starter. So we can just duplicate this text, and we'll have another one here. We can give it a name, and we'll call this Pokemon name, and we'll call this one Pokemon type, and they'll both be variables. Compile, and then onto this vertical box we're going to add one last thing. It's going to be a button, and we're going to set it to be at the bottom of our vertical box, and on fill, and on the right. Then we're going to give it some padding on the right, about 35, and on the bottom about 20. Okay. I don't have we're gonna wrap this with the horizontal box, and then we're gonna duplicate the button. So we're gonna have yes or no, just so we, or we'll just have one. We'll just have one. So we'll undo that one button, and we'll call this select, and we'll have text on it on the button, and the text size will be 12, and we'll say okay. It should say pick or something like that. I don't know, I'll get a better design for this later on. And the background color of our button's opacity needs to be 0, and then we've got some sort of setup like that. Alright, so the size box, I think I'm going to set it down to 100 by 100, or even less. Let's do 80 by 80. It's going to sort of fit into the card, I think, I hope. A little bit less. Doesn't need to be that big, it's just going to hover over the ball. Okay, and the text size can even drop to something like 12 and 12, so everything's like sort of uniform. I wonder if we wrap this with a size box now and give it an override. It does work, I thought so. So we'll make this 350, or not even, we'll make this 250 by 200, alright, by 150. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Compile and save. Okay, so now we've got all of our variables, etc, etc. This will be our Pokemon image. Sorry about the length in this video. UI does confuse me a bit. Then we can make some functions. So we're going to make a function here. We're going to call this set Pokemon image, and we'll make another one, set Pokemon name, and set Pokemon type. Okay, so we'll go over to set Pokemon image. We'll grab our Pokemon's image, and we'll have an input on this function of type texture 2D. Oh, I need a new keyboard. Okay, texture 2D object reference, and we'll call this Pokemon image. Alright. Then we're going to drag off of our Pokemon image, and we're going to say set brush. We'll give ourselves a little bit of space here, and we'll drag off this in brush and say make slate brush. And basically we're going to get rid of everything except for our image. Okay, and we're just going to plug that in. So that sets the Pokemon image. Alright, then we're going to go to set Pokemon name, and we're going to do the same kind of thing. We're going to have an input of type text, and we'll call this Pokemon name, and we'll grab our Pokemon's name, and we'll say set text of text, and we'll just plug it in like that. Okay, then we'll go set Pokemon type. Will be exactly the same thing, so text, and we'll just call this Pokemon type. Right, then we're going to grab our Pokemon type text, and we're going to drag off and say set text. Okay, so just like that, and then we'll make a custom event, and we'll call this initialize, however that's spelled, and we'll have 3 inputs on it. First one will be Pokemon name, the second one will be the Pokemon type, and the third will be the Pokemon image. Just change the variable type to texture 2D. Object reference, and then we can bring in these functions we created, so set Pokemon image, and we'll just plug that in, and then we'll set Pokemon name and set Pokemon type, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, so save and compile. Then we'll go to start ball again, and we'll add a component. We'll add a widget component. Okay, and we'll just leave it at that. Actually, we will make it screen space and compile and save. Alright, so then what we're going to do on our custom event here is, if we are a fire Pokemon, we're going to set Pokemon's name to Charmander, and we'll set the Pokemon's type to fire, and then we'll set the Pokemon's image to Charmander image, which is this one, and there we go. And then we're going to go up here to event begin play. We're going to drag out this widget, and we're going to drag off of event begin play and say create a widget, and the widget we're going to make is the WB starter ball, and we're going to drag off of our widget component here, and we're going to say set widget, and we'll just set it to this widget. Okay, pile, or I think we can even do this on the construction script. Let me make no, we can't. Okay, so let's just undo that. It's back to what it was. Alright, so then what we're going to do, why has this not been selected? Grab that, and then, okay, so if he's Charmander, we're going to do that. If he's Squirtle, we'll set him to his name to Squirtle, because these are our 3 starters and they're the only ones that we'll be able to select here. So water, and then Squirtle's image, and then for grass, so just give ourselves some space here. Grass. What? I'm getting tired. This is going on a bit long. Bulbasaur and grass, and we'll set this to Bulbasaur's image and compile. Then we're going to get our widget component, and we're going to drag off, and we're going to say cast to WB let's promote this to a variable, and we'll call this WB starter ref, and we'll just plug it in like that. And then instead of grabbing that, we'll grab our WB starter reference, and we'll say I'm sorry I'm messing you guys around, but we'll do this anyway. Control X and Control V, put that over here. So we're going to create the widget, and then right off of here we're going to drag and say initialize, and then we'll just plug these in. Okay, so what that does is we go through, it looks and sees if we are fire, grass or water, If we're fire, it's going to set it to Charmander, fire, and Charmander's image, and then it's going to create the WB, and it's going to set our widget to the new one. Okay, but we want to add one more thing here, so get your reference, move that along, and we're going to do an isValid check. Okay, so if it is valid, remove it from the parent, and then go through and do this. If it's not valid, just do that. Okay, and I think we can just plug all of these in here because we set them prior to doing that, and we can actually turn this into a function, I think, but we'll leave it like this for now. Okay, compile, and you want to go to this widget and go scroll down to set hidden endgame to true, and then on our sphere here we're going to add an event, or we'll actually just use this event active again overlap, and we'll cast to our player base, and we'll make another event actor end overlap, and we'll do exactly the same thing. And all we're going to do is get our widget component and set hidden in game to false if we are overlapping him, and true if we aren't. Okay, so we can kind of test this out. Let's go to our content, Pokemon, blueprints, actors, Pokeballs, starter ball, and let's give it a little pedestal. Let's bring in a cube. That's about an okay height. Let's put it somewhere near oak because why not? Let's elongate it a bit because we'll have 3 balls. Okay, so we'll do that, and we can actually set this collision to something smaller. We'll set it back to 32, what it was on. Compile, and that looks better, but not quite right. So let's set it to something like 52. Compile, and I'm happy with that. We'll just move it a little bit over to the edge and duplicate it twice. Then we've got 3 starter balls. Then you just need to open this up and make Pokemon type editable. Okay, compile and save, and then we just need to click on each ball and set the Pokemon's type. So go to details, Pokemon type, grass, fire, and water. Save, and save, and let's push play, and let's have a look, see if this works. If it doesn't work, we'll have to figure out what's going on in the next one. Unfortunately, it's gone on a bit long. It's not working. Is it not working? Okay, let's figure this out. Why is it not working? Sphere. We can make it a little bit bigger. Let's just set it to 100 and see if it's the collision. Hope it's the collision. There we go, running off. And it's not working. Okay. So, what if we went ahead and did it this way? So we changed the widget class to that, compile, and let's go to our hidden game to no. Okay, so there's a problem with our actual widget. Let's go to, let's try this, desired file. Where's our widget? see if we make it wall space. There's our widget. So why is it not working in screen space? Control Y. Didn't work. Where is it? Full screen. Wow. No. And game to true. Okay, so I'm having a bit of an issue here. Shouldn't be an issue at all. But I guess that doesn't work as well. We can just make it a bit smaller. Let's do that. That. We can bring him down to around there. And we can see that we've got a problem on our text box now. Let's go back to desired. Compile. That should have changed stuff in here. Guess not. Okay. Add a bit more padding to the top. We'll make it something like 32. I like that number. And should work anyway. We'll just see how it goes. Set it to none. Compile. Yeah, there's a problem with this. Anyway, I'd like to fix this for you guys. So let's fix it. Let's fix it. This has gone on way too long. So it is set to hidden in game. It is now in wall space. Is it set to hidden in game? Yeah, hidden in game. So now we're just going to test it out with letting it show up. It's the main goal at the moment. And let's get the widget. What? I'm having trouble today, guys. Okay, well, let's just see if it's showing up or not. It's our main goal at the moment. Oop, where is it? Yes, it is showing up. We just need to set it and rotate it. I'd like this to be screen space, but you know, can't have everything you want. And then they should be hidden by default. I don't know why they're showing up. Okay, they are. Okay, so I need to overlap it and then it'll show up. We'll make it like way bigger. Where's our widget? Draw desired size? No. Let's see if it gets the proper size in now. And then we'll look at setting the actual image. Okay, so we got the proper size. We're going to increase the image size and set everything in the next video properly. We've already got the functions for it. There's just something funky I need to figure out with what's going on, you know. Anyway, see you next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.